Whenever I want to lose fat or help a client of mine be able to drop some weight, there are four key principles that I keep in mind to help them in that process. And none of these have to do with training or working out in the gym. That's an entirely separate category, and truthfully, it'll help to lose a little bit of weight, help to lose some body fat through strength training and building more muscle, but it's really not going to be the main mover for a lot of people. You should work out to be able to feel better, move better, and create a better existence in life. And when it comes to losing fat or losing body weight, these four pieces are going to be what I've found to be able to make that happen the quickest. So I'm going to start my walk here as I talk with you guys on it. The very first one of these four pillars is going to be walking. So walking is a phenomenal fat loss tool, and I don't really consider it the same category as working out in the gym or doing push-ups and pull-ups and strengthening the body with body weight, because it's in its own category, right? So the reason why walking, and I recommend most people to get at least 30 minutes a day, but if you really want to take it up, getting up to about an hour a day of walking, piece it apart. Couple 15, 20-minute walks, couple 30-minute walks, taking some 10-minute walks post-meal for digestion, phenomenal as well too. You eat 3 meals a day, you're gonna have 30 minutes of walking right there. But starting with the half hour of walking every day and then slowly increasing if you need to is great for fat loss because of the fact that it is a low intensity exercise, and how God designed the body to work out is high intensity exercise likes to use glucose and sugar to be able to tap into a really accessible fuel source for more intense stuff like sprinting, strength training, running, etc. But we have a second fuel source, which is our body fat, and that is used for less intense exercise. So if you, in 30 minutes of walking, are going to burn more body fat calories because of the fact that it is just a lower intensity exercise, you might burn, for every 100 calories of walking that you burn, you might burn 90 of those from body fat. Whereas for every 100 calories you burn from running or strength training, it might be closer to 20 or 30, and most of those being sugar. So it's kind of a sneaky hack. I've had people who basically, besides doing a couple push-ups every day as like a daily challenge, would just walk for 30, 60 minutes. Using that time as prayer as well too is phenomenal. I like to get outside and talk to God in that time and make it part of my spiritual health as well too. So integrating into more ways like that, putting in some podcasts, listening to something educational, whatever it might be for you, helps to make this time pass and you can make it a little bit more productive. But getting in that 30, 60 minutes a day, so phenomenal. Invite your kids, your spouse, go for a love walk. I'm here in Bali right now and I do miss my wife so much, and we will usually go for at least one walk a day together around our neighborhood for 10 to 30 minutes, and it's a great way for us to connect. For the couples out there, when you sweat and move with your spouse, it releases the same pheromones as having sexual intercourse together, so creates that extra little bit of intimacy and connection as well too. And so just lots of benefits from this stuff. So walking is phenomenal, guys, and I really think it's probably the best resource for movement when it comes to fat loss. So now moving into pillar number 2, this is a concept that I see a lot of really intuitive people in the fitness industry do, but not really talk about a lot. And so this is a concept to where when you want to lose fat, most people will say you need to go on a really strict diet like paleo, carnivore, vegan, whatever it might be, keto. And while those can work really well, and I've used them before, they work awesome, it's hard for a lot of people to stay consistent with it. So my second key is going to be this style of eating where I don't know what to call it, but I'll just give you a strategy here. And it's basically for the first half of the day, you really work on just front loading a lot of protein, vegetables, and fruit. And so what I mean by that is, if you're eating 3 square meals a day, focus on getting breakfast and lunch to be pure protein, and if you want some fruit or vegetables, add those in, because those are good. And what this does is, for example, When I'm really wanting to get lean, what my diet might look like is breakfast would be 4 to 5 eggs, and maybe a glass of milk. I do include dairy on this, especially higher quality stuff like raw dairy, or Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, whatever it might be for you. So that's allowed in this. And then I'll have some honey, right? Which I would kind of include in the same category as fruit. It's carbohydrates. So I would have 4 to 5 eggs, about 12-ounce glass of milk with 2 to 4 tablespoons of honey in there. That's a good combination of carbohydrates, fats, and protein. Very balanced meal. Meal number 2 might just be 2, 3, sometimes 4 burger patties or a big steak. So usually about 12 to 16 ounces or a half a kilogram, 400 to 500 grams of just protein. If I want some fruit with it, I might have some cantaloupe, pineapple, watermelon, and those are my first 2 meals of the day. So with this, I've now front loaded a lot of protein, good nutrients, and then in the evening, allow myself to have a little bit more of what I want to have while still focusing on protein. But that might look like, 8 to 12 ounces of chicken, beef, fish, and maybe at dinner time, I have some French fries, potatoes, or I'll have some white rice. I typically steer away from bread currently just as it irritates my gut, but when this is, I have to watch my step here too. If that's something I'm including in my diet at the time, I might have some bread or some pasta. Chickpea pasta is great as well too. So I keep that in the evening time, and what this does is it allows me to feel very light and focus on lower calorie foods and more filling foods such as protein, fruits, and vegetables in the beginning of the day. And I just save the heavier foods for later in the day. What this does is it prevents me from overeating at multiple meals of the day. And by condensing most of my easier to consume a lot of calories food, so just food that can end up becoming calorically dense just because it's easier to eat a lot of, keep that in the end of the day, you naturally start to get in a very good calorie deficit. And most of those foods are going to be carbohydrates, starches, grains, and having a little bit more carbs at night like that can actually help a lot of people sleep better because of the insulin spike and the crash afterwards. So carbs at night, very helpful for fat loss. So try out that eating style. Just think protein, fruits, and vegetables only in the first half of the day, first 2 meals, allowing yourself to have more other types of carbs, whites, pastas, later in the day. How are you? So key number 3 is going to be just a simple focus in your diet. All right, the first one, we focus on just shifting anything that's not fruit, vegetables, and meat to later in the day. So that just means move your bread, move your pastas, all that stuff. Usually it's gonna be carbohydrates to the evening time. If you want some pizza, just do it in the evening, don't do it for breakfast and lunch. This helps. The third key is similar in line with that, and that is just gonna be eat more protein, right? Protein comes from the Latin root of proteus, I believe, which is of the primary importance. So in a diet, especially if you're strength training, you can't get enough of protein. I personally, while I'm here in Bali, my current diet, I'm working to get about 2 pounds or 1 kilogram of meat every day of protein. This is roughly 200 grams of protein a day. I weigh 185 pounds, roughly 83 kilograms. And with that, this fuels my workouts, keeps me full, has my energy feeling high because I don't feel too heavy or bloated. If you guys have an issue digesting a lot of protein, typically it's an issue in your stomach acidity, so some HLA, hyaluronic acid, and supplement with just slowly and progressively increasing your meat consumption and not being very drastic can help to allow you to digest a little bit better. But there's other forms like dairy, with cottage cheese, milk, cheeses. There's whey protein, pea protein, rice protein, lentils, beans, eggs, fish, a bunch of good stuff there. So if you just work on increasing that, I really do recommend that most people bring their numbers up to about 1 gram per pound of their goal body weight. Quick pause on the topics. Check out this awesome waterfall here in the background. Just had to highlight that one. But as it comes to eating more protein, if you guys are having any issues getting in more protein, the best thing to do is to actually split it up, have multiple meals, allow yourself to be able to, have 4 or 5 times that you eat throughout the day, rather than trying to get it all in 2 or 3 meals throughout the day. So that can help you out. Try to get 20, 30 grams in each time you have some protein. Super simple way to feel fuller longer and keep you from overeating other foods. And you can count your calories throughout this or not. That's up to you. But the fourth and final thing, which I really do believe is kind of a secret weapon. I think God designed an inborn technology inside of our bodies for fat loss, and it works really well, and it's called fasting, right? So going for extended periods of time without food. It might be 16 to 18 hours for an intermittent fast, or maybe you do a full day or 24 hours or 36 hours, or you go multiple days and you do 72 hours. Personally, when I work with people, I like to introduce them to getting into weekly 24-hour fasts and then slowly building up to full day fasts as well too. And this is a fat loss accelerator, guys. If you were to do a weekly longer fast, like a 24-hour or a full day fast, like at 36 hours, man, fat loss gets super, super easy because it just allows you to be able to deepen that calorie deficit at the end of the week so much more so. So I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting, but I do believe more effective intermittent fasting is doing a weekly longer fast, like 24 hours or 36 hours. I used to think intermittent fasting was the best way to lose weight, and I still think it's more powerful than a lot of tools, but truthfully, if you just work on the walking, the protein, and waiting to have more of your starchy carbs, white carbs, sugar, and all of that till the end of the day rather than the beginning, that'll do a lot of the work for you. But intermittent fasting can come in to just accent that and add an extra piece onto it. But the longer fasts, a weekly full day fast, in combination with all of this, will make fat loss so, so easy. And I truly do believe that it builds discipline and self-control over food when you can learn to go a full day without it. A lot of people got to do some work there and make sure that you're not, feeding an eating disorder, or if you're really stressed out in your life, sometimes some extra fasting can actually uptick your stress hormones, and it's not the best idea. So that's why I don't prescribe it for everybody now to do intermittent fasting, for instance. I do recommend for most people to at least try out some longer fasts on a weekly or bi-weekly basis to help out with your fat loss and just deepening your overall calorie deficit. So if you're looking to start that one, just try once a week, 24 to 36 hour fast. See how long you can go. It might be a 1 meal a day, or you wait to eat for a full day and just have breakfast or lunch the next day. But these 4 tools will be very helpful for you guys in losing weight. Apply them as needed, and if you're wanting more help, I do run a fat loss mentorship with my wife, Sammy, to where we guide people through long-term healthy fat loss. You have community, you have support, you have resources, you got encouragement. We get together every month and we have a coaching session for everybody to come together, ask questions, just be a part of a great group that encourages you, and to learn new topics as well. So if that's something that you are interested in, just let me know. Drop a comment down below, shoot me a message that says something like fat loss, or reach out. I might have some information in the details on this post on how you can get connected into that. But would love to invite you guys into that if you're wanting some more support for fat loss. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and subscribe, follow me, whatever on these social platforms that this goes up on, to get access to more free information just like this. See you guys next time.